This is the Baby Brezza Formula Pro, and at about $180, it is a little steep in price, but the real question is it worth it? Stick around, we're gonna dive right in. Hey, what's going on, guys? Andrew here with another tea review where we vlog, chat fatherhood, and share our thoughts on family-related products. So if I had to sum up the Formula Pro, I'd basically call it a Keurig coffee machine for babies, I guess you could say. The main reason why this thing exists is to help parents and make their lives a little easier, and I can tell you firsthand that it does not fall short in delivering on that promise. All in one machine, it heats up the water, mixes the formula, and dispenses it into whatever size bottle that you prefer in a matter of seconds. Setup does have quite a few parts and pieces. It might take a minute to go through all the things properly, but it is fairly straightforward. I just got to emphasize that you do need to read through the manuals. I can't really emphasize that enough. Go ahead and do that. The most complex part of the rig is the formula container at the top. Now, depending on the formula that you're using, there is a specific setting number that you have to dial into the measuring wheel before you start using the Formula Pro. So, for example, we're using Similac Total Comfort, which has a corresponding setting value of 5 according to their lookup table. So we set the gear to 5, make sure all the pieces are in place properly, and then you're good to go. This can make up to 20 8-ounce bottles at a time before having to refill once again. Just note that the Formula Pro is compatible with most formulas, not all formulas, so look into that carefully before you consider actually buying it. Now below you've got the funnel component, which the formula spirals out of when dispensing. This needs to be cleaned at least once a day, and I'll get more into that a little bit later. Also, the bottle grate and drip tray should be removed and cleaned as well. Off to the side, you've got the main holding tank for the water, and there really isn't a whole lot to set up here. Just note that you can use purified water, preferably the one with fluoride, or you can use boiled water that has been cooled. Lastly, you have the main panel up top where you can set the ounces that you want dispensed and the buttons to start and stop the drip. You've also got the light indicators on either side. Off to the right, you'll occasionally see a red indicator reminding you to clean the funnel. And on the left are 2 indicators, one for the water temperature and the second is to warn for low water levels. Also note that when the formula is dispensed, it is dispensed at 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit or 37 degrees Celsius, which is ever so slightly warmer than body temperature, and I assume that is to mimic the same temperature of breast milk. That being said, let's go on to our classic pros and cons. The first pro is probably going to be the convenience factor that this product offers. In my opinion, I don't believe that you're paying for the parts or the motors or the heating tank that this product boasts. I think what you're paying for is time. And in the weeks before we got the Formula Pro, we endured a very long nightly process of boiling a large pot just to sterilize the bottles and then a second pot just to mix the formula. And then we made several bottles to store for the following day. And maybe that was too much work, but this was our first kid and I guess we just wanted to be a little overly cautious. But with the Formula Pro, we basically got back all of our time and all we really had to worry about was just cleaning a few of the bottles. Anytime our baby needed a feeding, we just pressed a button and then within about 15 seconds, we were basically good to go. And in my opinion, the convenience of getting this time back outweighs any sort of con that I'm gonna eventually mention. Now, on to the second thing that I really like is the design. It's a good looking build, it's got a very rigid design, and it looks sleek and simple. It doesn't take that much counter space, and someone even looking at it might confuse it with just a regular coffee maker. Now, the last positive that we need to highlight is the versatility and consistency of this thing. It can accommodate newborns, and it's good up through your first year, and it nails the perfect temperature every single time. We haven't had any sort of variance in the temperature thus far. Now, let's move on to the cons. The first, most glaring one is probably going to be the price. We get it, it's a little steep, it's tough, but the second nuisance is the cleaning. There is a lot to clean here. The formula container, the drip tray, the funnel, the water tank, all together has about 12 parts. The funnel and drip tray you need to clean at least once a day, and it's recommended that every day you clean the underside of the formula container where everything gets dispensed. Every day you'll notice a slight buildup of formula. You'll need to get in there at least once a day to avoid it from getting really caked up. For all the other components, it's recommended that you clean it once a month, but luckily Baby Brezza claims that all their parts are dishwasher safe. all except for the water tank. But honestly, we just opt for the warm water and soap route just to be safe. Which leads us to our third and final con, the sensitivity of this thing. When you clean everything, you have to make sure that everything is extremely dry and that you're putting all the components back in their exact proper place. Any sort of moisture that builds up is going to result in blockages and improper dispensing. Also, when cleaning the water canister, you have to be really sensitive about the electronics down below to avoid any sort of complications with the pump and the heating apparatus. But if you're pretty careful and you're reading through all those setup instructions, you should be pretty set. And I know it sounds a little intense with the sensitivity and everything, but I'll be honest with you guys, we haven't had a single problem. We just needed to note all of those things for you. Now, that leads us to our big question, which is it worth the amount of money to get the Baby Brezza Formula Pro? And for us, our answer to that would be yes. Now you have to ask yourself, what kind of value does this product bring to your family? If you are bottle feeding and you're currently content with the way your setup is, the way you're kind of cleaning the bottles, and you don't feel like you're wasting a whole lot of time, then I would say that you can probably skip this. This isn't really a splurge item for you. But for us in our family, it was a point of not contention, but we were losing a lot of time. And we got the time back, and it was easily worth the $180 to spend. Now, if you're interested in snagging this product or any of the products that we've kind of reviewed in the past, go ahead and look in the description below to our kit. It's going to be kit.com/tierreview, I think. It might be that, but just go down and check it out in the description below and you'll be able to find it down there. If you want to follow along from our vlogs and reviews just like this one, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. Thank you for watching this video and come back for the next one, yeah? Later.